Hello and welcome. You're watching this very special coverage of Oscars 2023 here on News 9 Live. Thank you to all those viewers who are tuning in for this very special broadcast over here on News 9 Live. We are bringing this coverage to you because it's a huge moment for India at the Oscars, and that's because three different movies on India or related to India or made in India have been nominated in Oscars, and definitely all the talk and all the expectations are that Natu Natu wins the Oscar and brings home the gold, and that's all that we're waiting for over here. But there's already so much that's happened. I'm being joined in this very special broadcast by my colleague Nikita. Nikita, this is a very special morning for India at the Oscars, right? And already there's news, and it's because the Elephant Whisperers, shot in the Mudumalai, Tiger Reserve, has already won the Best Documentary Shot or the Short Documentary Award. And Nikita, talk to us about this particular documentary. It's a special documentary, isn't it?
It is. It is truly very special, and I think hats off to women power, women taking over. The director and the producer are a very powerful duo woman team, and this is Guneet Monga's second win at the Oscars. I think we can only hope for more in the future, and can't even imagine the excitement that the team is undergoing at the moment.
Right, so for all those tuning in, the score so far is that the Elephant Whisperers, a documentary short feature on Netflix, has won the Best Documentary Short Oscar Award. That's the big news coming in so far, the good news coming in so far. There is a bit of a dampener, however. India was nominated in the form of All That Breathes in the Best Documentary Feature category, and in that Best Documentary Feature category, it did not win. The good news is that the Elephant Whisperers has won, but the not so good news is that for the Best Documentary Feature category, All That Breathes, which was nominated, did not win, and that's because a film on Russia's main opposition leader, Navalny, has won the award. Clearly a huge political statement there from the Oscars in the year of the Russia-Ukraine war. A documentary on Putin's greatest opponent, which is Navalny, and that documentary has won the Oscar Award for Best Documentary Feature, which is the full-length feature Best Documentary category. But in the Best Documentary Short Form category, the Elephant Whisperers has won. So that's fantastic news for India already. But right now, all the build-up and all the hopes and expectations are for Natu Natu, RRR's Natu Natu, which has won literally every single award on its way over here, including the Golden Globes. All the expectations are that Natu Natu will be picking up the Oscar Award for Best Song. That is yet to be announced. The Best Song Oscar Award for which Natu Natu is vying for. It's a song that has reverberated across the world, both amongst Indians and amongst everybody else, not just the Indians. You look at the way the Hollywood has taken to both the film RRR and the song Natu Natu, which is being performed live, bear in mind, at this Oscars 2023. Rahul Sipliganj and Kala Bhaitava, the singers of the song Natu Natu, will be singing the song live at the Oscar stage, while Lauren Gottlieb will be performing the song live, whereas the entire cast and crew of RRR will be there, you know, as among the guests, among the biggest who's who of Hollywood, among, you know, Steven Spielberg, whose film is nominated, among James Cameron, whose film is nominated this year. It's a superb year for India. It's a proud moment for India. It's a time of recognition, really, Nikita, isn't it, about Indian filmmaking and the Indian film industry. And here it's a Telugu film that is, you know, taking, India to the world quite literally. And we here at the TV9 network could not be more happy, isn't it, TV9?
And I think, considering Elephant Whisperers has been such a huge hit at the Oscars, it also makes us realize that documentary feature films, Indian documentary making and skills, I think it's the win here. It's definitely put us on the world map of entertainment, and there's no looking back from now. What do you think, Krishna?
Absolutely, absolutely. All the stars of RRR, Ram Charan, Junior NTR, the filmmaker behind it all, Raja Mouli, the music director, Keeravani, huge names from Indian film industry finally getting their due in the West, and there's big things to come. Those are the expectations, as far as RRR's success in the West is concerned. Big things are expected. There you go, red carpet visuals of Ram Charan and his wife Upasana Kamineni. Is beautiful visuals streaming in from Los Angeles, and Ram Charan and the rest of the cast have been in Los Angeles, in the US for the last weeks, many weeks, giving interviews, promoting the film, making sure that people watch the film, making sure people vote for the film. And it's been one hell of a ride. We have some very special guests joining us. On this broadcast, we have Mr. G. Dhananjayan, film producer, joining us, a columnist and author, has won the National Award twice. Bear in mind, we also have Mr. Samaniyar Nagaraj, a journalist, YouTuber, and film enthusiast. Thank you, both of you, for joining us. Mr. Dhananjayan, let me begin with you. Bahubali did something, and then RRR took it to another level altogether. And look where we are. We are on an Oscars morning. We're treating it as if it's our Oscars. And let's give it the right due. It's not just RRR. Of course, RRR is a huge part of it. There is the Elephant Whisperers, and there is all that breathes. It's India shining at the Oscars, isn't it, Dhananjayan?
Absolutely. In fact, we are all proud about the way Elephant Whistles has received the Best Documentary Award. It's not a small thing for an Indian documentary to win a worldwide Oscar award, and everyone is feeling proud about it. In fact, there is somebody, in our team, Mr. Sanjay Wadhwa was working on it, and Tamil Nadu government, Forest Department is supported. We are all feeling very proud about the Elephant Whisperers winning the Best Documentary at the Oscars. It's a proud moment for every Indian. And it's certainly the way to go for Indian filmmakers, documentary filmmakers, to garner, and gain such kind of attention worldwide. And every attention is on RRR. The gang of RRR has already won the heart of everyone. And the NATU NATU is the song which is going to win. Is sure shot. Nobody can dispute that.
Absolutely.
In fact, we are all waiting for that moment actually, rather than saying that whether it will win or not. Because that is the song which is going to win. Because look at the kind of effort the team has put in. No other song in the world can ever see such kind of effort put in by the team. The two popular actors and the director, the dance choreographer, the music director, the singers and the choreographer, everyone has put in their heart and soul. They put in such a phenomenal effort. In fact, when I go through the video where he mentioned about how they were creating it, it's amazing.
Let me interrupt you to say that, before it wins the Oscars, the moment the song is performed, that Telugu song is performed on the Oscar stage, is a moment of great pride and glory for India and for Andhra and for Telangana. It's incredible. And the fact that the singers, the original Telugu singers, are going to be there on stage singing it, just that the stars are going to be, in tuxedos. I'm guessing they can't be performing it the way they did in the song sequence. I'm going to take this across to Samaniyar Nagaraj. Samaniyar Nagaraj, talk to us about this moment. Talk to us about Elephant Whisperers. Shot in the Mudumalai Kadigal, or the Mudumalai forests of Tamil Nadu, talking about a very important story, and made by an all-women crew. A great, a message being sent out with a film like that.
First of all, a very good morning, a happy morning, I would say. I just woke up just 20 minutes back, so I heard the news that I woke up and heard the news, we got an Oscar. So that is the time here. See, about elephant whiskers, I have been to that place personally. I know so many elephants have been taken care as their child. Their own children, they just get from the forest, and from that time, many momos would take care of the elephants like their own children, and this has gone to this level. That is a very, very happiest thing. In fact, the actors, they're not actors, they're the original people. They should also be somewhere, they should also be honored. That's what I feel. And the elephants also should be honored. The team should go there, and they should also be honored. See, one thing with this documentary, right? There is a say that people doesn't watch documentary, people doesn't like documentary, people will not have interest in documentary. That has been broken now. That has been clearly broken now. And with Elephant, I think none of the films have got flopped. It might be MGR sir's Nalaneram or recent Shivaji, great Shivaji sir's grandson Vikram Prabhu's uh, Kumki, or Rajini sir's Annayor Illam. So many films with elephants which has never flopped, and that history continues now. From MGR to Elephant Whispers, none of the films which has been taken with elephant, even Kamal sir's Ram Lakshman, has not been a flop.
The only thing you haven't mentioned is Hathi Mere Sathi, which is where it all began for India as far as films on elephants go.
Yes. So none of the elephant films have been flopped, and that legacy has been continued even this point. So that is the very big thing. One more thing, sir. What I personally feel, the way in which this film was taken was, it was like natural one. It's nothing was very the cinematic shot or not like that. So how day-to-day life they would be, it was clearly shown. So that is the part where this film has won a greater awards, as well as if you after it got released on Netflix, right? So many tweets were being done on this film. Many said this is the film that everyone should watch. Many kids have watched the film. That is the big thing. So, see,
it's fantastic that it's these awards and all this attention that makes the younger generation go towards films like, especially short films and short documentary films, films that need to be seen by the younger generation. It's a very important message being sent out. So is the other film, All That Breathes, Mr. Dhananjayan. Disappointing that All That Breathes, again a very important message coming in from the national capital. Unfortunately not winning. But then again, you're seeing a political message from the Oscars by giving the Best Documentary Feature Award to Navalny, who is the biggest critic and the biggest opponent of Putin in a year in which Oscars is held, which is the year of the Russia-Ukraine war. And probably only that is the reason why All That Breathes lost to Navalny.
See, I'll say that, my friend is right. Whenever you feature an elephant, you'll definitely win. He was talking about, how the elephants, win so many films across the country, starting from Hathi Mera Sathi to various Tamil films and Telugu films he's talking about. And certainly, the elephant has brought in all the magic, I think. And but certainly the documentary itself was a very worthy effort, and that's why it got that Oscar award for Best Documentary Feature. But I'd say that, every film is deserved, when it went into the shortlist itself is a big honor for India. Yeah. And all that, breathes, loses to Navalny, it's like maybe that film is much worthier than this film. But I would say that, every film which went into Oscars final shortlist itself is a big recognition for Indian filmmakers. I would say that is the biggest proud moment for all of us.
Absolutely. There is no doubt about that. Just that, when we started the day, all we were hoping for here on News9 Live is that we get a hat-trick of wins at the Oscars. India, scoring a hat-trick at the Oscars by winning 3 Oscars. Unfortunately, that is not going to happen. But then again, as you said, all eyes now are on Natu Natu, and that is a given, that's a foregone conclusion, that is predestined, that, if there is one song that has become famous in the US that is not an English language song for the year, it is not even K-pop or any other language, it is the Telugu language Natu Natu song, which is the most famous song in the US. The most famous foreign film in the US has been RRR, and it is a travesty if you ask me that RRR is not nominated in Best Film and Best Director categories. But there you go. You can see that step in literally every single YouTube video, in every single Insta video. Nikita, you've tried that step, haven't you?
100%. I tried to perfect that in my bedroom, and I've still not gotten the confidence to do it out there in public.
But tell me this, yeah. What was your reaction like when, when the song came out, Look at that. That's in the Bharatanatyam costume, Like, was it catchy to you initially?
It was definitely very catchy, and I think this song, I think you put it very nicely before. It's gone beyond lyrics. It's it's the tune, it's the choreography, the set. About 150, 200 people dancing to the same tune. I think that's what makes it completely mesmerizing. I'm still mesmerized.
And so is the world, so is the West, so is Hollywood, and that's the reason why on Oscars morning, all attention is on RRR. All our attentions are on RRR and Natu Natu. And, we're all waiting for that moment. I'm not sure, Nikita, the performance of the song is yet to take place, right?
The performance has already happened.
Oh, that is
It has happened, and nonetheless, we got a standing ovation. That's no surprise. It was in fact presented by Deepika Padukone, another global icon that's again made India really, really proud.
Yeah.
And yeah, it definitely set the stage
There you
on
go.
fire.
So with Deepika Padukone introducing it, the song Natu Natu has been performed on the Oscar stage to a standing ovation. It's been fantastic already. All that's left right now is for it to win the Oscar award itself for best song. And so looking forward to that Oscar award for the best song. We are being joined in by a couple of very special guests as well as we continue discussing that. We are being joined by Samarya Nagaraj and Mr. G. Dhananjayan. Mr. Dhananjayan, you know, Mr. Keeravani said something very interesting about the song Natu Natu. It's an 8-10 beat. It's one of the fastest beats possible, and the fact that it maintains that momentum throughout. And it's an incredible composition that at that high tempo, you know, at that fast beat, you can hold that composition together. And you know, and Mr. Keeravani or Cream or Maragadamani, as he's known in Tamil Nadu, you know, he's a magician. We all know it, and the magician is finally getting the right stage, isn't it?
See, not only that, I just want to tell you, before this film, you know, he mentioned to his brother, which is, Rajamouli, saying that, you know, should I retire from this composition? You know, he was not very keen to continue composing. In fact, in the interview, when I was seeing it, you know, I was feeling so emotional. You know, he didn't see this final pinnacle coming in his career. He thought, you know, it's over, you know, it's fine, you know, let me leave this field and all. But everybody convinced him, like, you know, you get back and, you know, get into the music again. And here, look at it. He's winning, you know, a Golden Globe and then now coming to Oscars. You know, that is the greatness of Keeravani sir. That's the greatness of Maragadamani, we call it in Tamil cinema. And such a great man. What a tune, what a song. And incidentally, his son has sung the song, I understand. You know, what an energy and what an effort, you know, the whole team has put in. It is all about, you know, Maragadamani or Keeravani sir's great effort for so many years that culminated into this song called Natu Natu, and that's why it is coming there. And he's getting the right award at the right, you know, time where the world, you know, going to recognize who's Keeravani sir all about. Keeravani sir's contribution to so many films across. You know, I remember in my, you know, time, you know, when we watched K. Balachandra sir film, you know, where he gave beautiful songs in films like
Yes,
Aragan.
sir. I remember Aragan, and also there was also Neepadi, Nanpadi as well. There's so many films.
Melodies,
yes,
melodies.
Absolutely. But let's talk about RRR, and now let's talk about the stars of RRR. We're talking about Mr. Junior NTR, we're talking about Mr. Ramcharan. I mean, these gentlemen are huge stars in Andhra and Telangana and across the world. And now there's definitely post RRR, they are national stars, you know, easily bigger than, you know, the biggest film in recent times, in the biggest film so far possible, beating their own records of Rajamouli's own record. I mean, what this means for these people, and then you have these newspaper headlines saying that, like, you know, Mr. Junior NTR could be doing a Hollywood film very soon. Mr. Ramcharan could be doing a Hollywood film very soon. Mr. Rajamouli has been already invited by James Cameron. Mr. James Cameron has said on camera that if you ever want to make a film, call me. I mean, we'll keep that aside. Let's talk about the stars, Samarya and Nagaraj. These stars, we know how big these stars are. And look what this is going to do now for them going forward.
Yeah. See, I would go a little back. I'll go to history a little back. It all started from 2007 when Shivaji released Worldwide. That was the point where we all started assuming Indian films worldwide. So that is the start point. And it slowly got evolved when a right film with right actors with good marketing, if it is placed on the right time, any film can run, any language film can run. That is what RRR tells you. For example, if you look at Bahubali, this film would have done 40% higher than Bahubali. It's not only because of actors also, it is the team. Now let's come to Ramcharan and Junior NTR. Both of them, see, they are literally, they both are the highest paid actors in Telugu cinema. One of the highest paid actors in Telugu cinema. They literally, just like that, they put their other films just like that in the left side. Okay, now I'm going to do a film for Telugu people, which is going to be a Telugu film, which is going to be a pan-India film, and it's going to release in the release whole world. Let's not forget this film was produced under the COVID times. Let's not at all forget. Let's think how big this film is, and this film was produced under the COVID time, and they said with COVID, the cinema industry can't do anything. We can't do anything. It is going to be tough. Every possible negative things were around the film, but it all broke. It all broke. In fact, I would say that VFX team, right? They were stuck in different parts of the country. It seems they could not come together on one point, and they could not do the VFX work. So you asked me about the actors. I would say the team RR. It is not one actor show or one people show.
Oh, sure, definitely, definitely. I was just about to get to that. I was just about to get to the entire, the saga of making and releasing RRR, Mr. Dhananjayan. You're a film veteran. Making RRR, through the end of the pandemic and so many through so many challenges, and then as they get set to release, the pandemic hits. First wave, second wave, the number of times. I mean, it is normal for film industry for release dates to get changed. But the way RRR and the size of the project it was, I mean, and still, and when they finally decided to hit the theaters, people said, we will wait for the date when this movie comes to the theaters. Wasn't it? Wasn't that the case with RRR?
Absolutely. Can you believe the whole team went around the country promoting the film so much, and then, the lockdown comes in and everything, got postponed. They were, so much effort. It's very frustrating for the entire team going around across the country, so many cities and abroad, and promoting the film, and finally getting to know that they can't release the film. They postponed the film by 3 months, and the team comes back again for promotion. Can you believe this? And this is all adds up to the Triple R. The whole Triple R. I'm talking about Rajamouli Garu and Ram Charan and Junior NTR for the kind of perseverance they had. They came back and promoted the film across the country. I can tell you, in Chennai, we saw them coming twice. And I'm talking about twice means 2 different trips. And they came for audio launch, they came for the promotion, they came for the release. And then when everything got postponed, again they came. And they promoted the film. And that's why the kind of win, the victory they got. It's not easy at all to keep that momentum. It's not easy at all to keep that, enthusiasm throughout the whole journey of making the film and then releasing it, not just once and twice. Twice release. I would call it twice release. And today, just look at it. These two are biggest stars. Their films on floor, and biggest films are happening. One with Shankar for Ram Charan, other is happening with Koratala Shiva Garu for Junior NTR. Both the films are going on. The stars are stopping everything, going all the way to New York for the Oscar, and they're promoting the film. I would say very clearly, this film's success is partly contributed by the dramatic and biggest contribution comes from the 2 stars who promoted as if their own film. It is like, it is like they produce a film, not just actors. It is their production. It is their, director. And more than that, the Telugu pride. The pride of Telugu. My Telugu film, which is getting international recognition, I like to take it to the global level. And I like to get the recognition. Go for it, and man, get it. Don't leave it in the last
I couldn't agree more with you, Mr. Dhananjayan. I was watching all those promotions that they did in city for city. And the beauty of that, the stars spoke the local language of every city they went for. When they were in Chennai, they spoke Tamil. When they were in Bombay, they spoke in Hindi. They went for every language, and in fact, they were forced to dub it because Mr. Rajamouli is such a taskmaster. So clearly, I mean, they really endeared themselves to audiences across the country. Yes, it was a very, very Telugu production of all, in every single which way, but they really endeared themselves to the entire country even before the movie hit the theaters. And the fact that the movie was so good was the cherry on the cake. And we thought it was over when it did what it did at the box office. And then it goes to the West and it does what it does. And, it's like as if if the delay you couldn't have predicted, all the glory also you couldn't have predicted. It was like poetic justice, to the fact that it does an extra round of success, in the West and in Hollywood for all the troubles it had while reaching the theaters. Mr. Samanya Nagaraj, I just want you to help us understand a couple of other things. Box office is one thing. Awards is one thing, but here you have RRR doing both, and that's the classic combination that everybody wants, isn't it? Even Hollywood wants that, like Avatar.
See, Dhananjayan sir always tell one thing in all the interviews. He'll say this. See, it is easy to take a film, but you have to market the film very well. It's his motto. Don't take the film, but you also market the film. That is the point where the RRR stands out. Just think the release date. March 20, I think 28th, I think 24th, yes. March 24th it got released. They say that March is not a good time to release a movie. And let's see what RRR does. It does a googly to all the audience, and it brings all the people into the theater. Let's not forget the person who dubbed the language. right? For every state, for example, Tamil Nadu it was Madan Karki. For every state, they took the film, was their the dubbing part, the dialogues part were done by a specialist. So the coordination of the team. Again, I'm iterating one word: team, because it is not one man show. See, I know Ram Charan sir when he was in Chennai. Okay, he came in the morning flight. He started his promotion car itself. He asked a channel to come and said, let's complete the interview in the car journey itself. He was in this level. In fact, when Ramcharan ji gets tired, Junior NTR comes in. I'll take it. Don't worry. He comes in and he gives an interview. So it's like when these both are tired, Rajamouli ji will come. And one channel came and said they already took an interview, but said we need interview of all three people. Can you please help us? And they said, okay, we'll do it. All three sat again and they gave interview again to the channel. So it was like, it was this level where they took a personalization, where other films, I don't know how it takes or how it makes, that personalization effort has given this result. When efforts are the result will be there. That's what I would say. They have put in a clear effort. They marketed very well, and they said they broke the jinx. If you release in March, big films will not go.
All right, gentlemen. We have the news that we've all been waiting for. The big breaking news for this morning. Natu Natu has won the Best Song Award at Oscars, at the 95th Academy Awards. Oscars 2023 has done what we've all expected it to do. Give it to Natu Natu, the biggest song of the world for the year, and it gets what it deserves, the Best Song Oscar for all those watching this broadcast live here on News9 Live. It is an extremely proud moment for all Indians, with Natu Natu winning the Best Song Oscar Award, a first for India. Nikita, it has happened.
Can we start dancing to it? Can we just start
First of all, a high five. First of all, a high five. It has happened. I mean, not that we're surprised. Let's make this very clear. None of us here are surprised. We're just happy. We're relieved that this is all we've been waiting for this morning. It has happened, and Natu Natu has done what we've all wanted it to do: win the Best Song Oscar Award. At this moment, I will say RRR should have been nominated for Best Film Oscar. It should have gotten more nominations, but for now, it is definitely worthwhile that it won the Best Song, because let's see that choreography. It is not just Indians, every nationality, every part of the world, they're all doing it in their own way, but still trying to get the choreography right, which only Ramcharan and Junior NTR can get right clearly, because we know the kind of effort that they've put into it. But
I think it's Rise, Revolt, and sorry, what was the third one?
Roar.
Yes, all the way through.
That is the RRR, RRR, Ramcharan, Rajamouli and Junior NTR as well. It is an extremely proud moment for India and for us here at News9 Live. We are bringing this coverage to you because it is India's moment at the Oscars. 3 nominations, out of which India has won 2. India was nominated in the form of Best Song for Natu Natu. India has won the Best Song Award. India was nominated for Best Documentary Short, Elephant Whisperers, which it won. It was also nominated for Best Documentary Feature, All That Breathes, but unfortunately that did not win. So 2 out of 1, great result. It is like the Test match series, isn't it, Mr. Dhananjay? 2-1 with Australia. We're sealing the deal on this one.
Absolutely, it's a proud moment, and we are all proud about Natu Natu winning the Oscar. Don't forget it. It's a commercial film. Okay, it is not like The Whale or anything which is very artistic, very emotional, realistic kind of film. It's a pakka, what we call it, South Indian commercial film, and yet
Masala Padam, sir. Masala Padam, as it's called.
I would call it masala film, which is very, very simplistic way to put it. But I would say purely a commercial film, and a song out of it going up to the Oscar, and finally, after all the campaign and all the great effort the whole team has put in, today winning the Oscars for the first time for an Indian film. It's not easy at all. An Indian film, a commercial film, and for a song which has been talked about for so long, it's getting the Oscar award for the best original song, Natu Natu. I would call it hats off, Rajamouli sir. You made it. You made India proud, and you made India where it belongs to, and you have got the recognition. And Keeravani sir, and to the 2 stars who have been there and campaigning. Great moment for India, winning the 95th Academy Award for Natu Natu. We are all feeling very excited and proud in Indian cinema, everyone. This is going to be spoken for long, and this song and this team has put in a benchmark for Indian cinema, Indian filmmakers, and how to go about take their film to world and make sure that it reach out to the entire people there and get such kind of recognition. We're all feeling very proud. The whole team gets that deserving appreciation and all the awards from Indian government. I would say that these three people, along with the music director and the singers, everyone should get all the awards for 2023 from Government of India for taking the nation and making us feeling proud about being an Indian.
Absolutely. The good point you made was that it was the same point Mr. James Cameron made about it was RRR. RRR is a film that was made for Indians. It's made to our tastes. It's made the way we like it. It's we're not shy about it anymore. We're extremely confident about it, and it requires great art and craft to make that cinema. And Mr. Rajamouli has done that for us and said the fact that please don't. In fact, I used the wrong term. It's not a masala padam. It's a commercial film meant for Indians and made for their tastes. And that is global tastes, because that's the taste that everybody is enjoying it across the world. We're not altering it for the sake of Oscars or anything. This is a film made with as many songs. It was viewed with as many songs, and it's the song that they've loved the most, amongst other things. Mr. Samani and Nagaraj, a great moment for India. The fact that something that we intrinsically like, this Telugu film has made it global.
First of all, a very proud moment as every Indian. We had the same proud moment when A.R. Rahman sir said, "Ella Pugal Merevanike." The same feeling I'm having today. I was so young that time. Now I could feel when I was in teens that happened. Now I'm in late 20s. This is happening. So every 10 years on my life, I think some national award comes. I think so. So that is what I feel personally. One best thing is that let's go to Keeravani sir. Keeravani sir, almost before Ega, I think he was about to retire, and after Bahubali also he was about to retire. But let's all see what he produces here. So that's what I'm actually choking now. After COVID, they said nothing can be done. The world will not move. Everyone will face economic crisis. This will happen, that will happen. But these kind of movements will help the whole India to run towards their goal, what they want to achieve. Even though it's a film industry, all industries should not stop with the efforts of COVID. Yes, it was a tough time, but when you come out of the tough time, your fruit is waiting for you. That's what I feel. It's a proud moment as an Indian. Congrats to the whole team, what they have done today. I will again go to the marketing they did when they were about to do the film, or when they were about to release the song, right? They asked everyone to send the 1 minute or 2 minute video of the step. They do. That's where the film marketing started. So everything took in place. Many said after the film getting postponed, that's it. This is gone. This film is gone. It won't be a Bahubali, but it has done twice than Bahubali. See, as a fellow media person, I will always not say critic, I'll say film enthusiast. I want every film to win. I want every film to make records. That's what I personally feel. But there's so much vengeance on that film was shown in many newspapers. I know personally, I've read many YouTubers say that's it. This can't be a Bahubali again. It has postponed. Once it is postponed, that's it. It's a negative thing. I still remember there was an article where March 28, I don't know, producer will release in this state. That was told to them. No producer will release this big film in March 28. And see, now it's been Oscar.
Mr. Dhananjayan, those prophetic words have usually been said before great films. Mr. James Cameron was told that if your film is seen by everybody in the world, which is Titanic, even then you can't cover the cost, is what he was told. There is no way ever that no movie can make as much as Titanic, is what James Cameron was told. I'm sure similar things were told to RRR when it wanted, as Mr. Samani and Nagaraj is talking about, releasing it in March. What are your thoughts on that?
No, in fact, the film was made in a bigger budget than what originally planned because of COVID. COVID, delayed the film and they had to shoot in multiple locations. In fact, this song, NATU NATU, Rajamouli Garu himself said that, they were supposed to shoot in India. They went all the way to Ukraine and they shot there in the palace. Just look at it, where
very important point. Before you go any forward, Ms. Dhananjayan, a very important point you're making, that what poetic justice that again a song from India that's shot at Zelensky's palace in Ukraine in the year of the Russia-Ukraine war is the one that, won the best song award. There is too much going on between the lines, isn't it, Mr. Dhananjayan?
Absolutely. In fact, the team which was involved in it, they were telling me they have to take a lot of, junior actors and dancers, everybody there to Ukraine. Look at the cost. They're supposed to shoot in Hyderabad. They're taking all the artists there and staying there and shooting for so many days, rehearsal and then shooting there in a foreign location. Look at the kind of cost increase, the team has faced it. But the producer was absolutely confident this film is going to win. And they were spending like crazy. The film overshot the budget, number of days it overshot. What are the kind of budget they originally planned, it overshot. But yet, Rajamouli Garu was very adamant about the kind of quality he wanted. Whether it's CG, whether it is making, whether it is the actor's performance and everything. Every moment, he built it step by step. And today, look at it. It not just a box office success across the country, across the globe. And today, it's winning the Oscar award for Natu Natu song. So it went up to best film also there. In terms of the shortlist. I'm talking about that is the kind of determination a filmmaker should have, and he made a great film RRR, and today brought in such a big glory to all of us. So I would say it's a producer and the director and the actors, everyone put together their heart and soul in the film, and they didn't worry about the kind of investment they're putting in because they were confident they're making a historical film, and the film is truly made it today.
One thing I was noticing, if ever the choreography, helped the song, it was it was definitely Natu Natu, because that choreography really took people's attention. The way the stars danced for it really got people's attention and got people to listen to the song. I think
again and
again, and that's when they I appreciate the quality of the song when they're not trying to follow it along with the choreography. So, and that is the reason why every people of all age groups, of all parts of India, of all walks of life have taken to the song. True. Because this is a song, Nikita, what this is like in India, right? Like, you go to the movie theater, this is a song that gets people, especially the front benchers, so to speak. Go crazy. But this is when there was no front bencher, back bencher. Everybody was going crazy when this song was playing in the movie hall.
And in fact, Krishna, I think I heard Ramcharan mention this in one of his interviews, that the director was extremely particular about every frame of the dance, right from the synchronization of these steps, and they wondered, why is he being so particular? But as we all know, I think we can't blame him.
Yeah, I think Rajamouli will be like, now he'll be like, I told you. Like, you do this right, you get an Oscar. That's what happens. I couldn't have told you back then that you're going to win an Oscar, but you do this well enough the way I tell you to do it. Yeah. That's what happens, and I'm sure, we can only imagine how the team would be, how celebratory they would be. The Dhananjayan continues to be with us on the broadcast. Nikita, let's quickly go across to him. Mr. Dhananjayan, now what do you think? We all know what the mood in the camp would be, but definitely, there's been a lot of build up to this. They've won everything. The buzz has been incredible. To the point of we're sitting here in India, different parts of India, predicting what's going to happen on Oscar morning. That's what RRR has done to India, has given us that confidence that we know what's going to happen on Oscar morning. Natu Natu is going to win, and that's what has happened. 3 careers I can see happening in Hollywood as we speak. Mr. Rajamouli, Mr. Junior NTR, Mr. Ramcharan. Straightforward. And I'm hoping there is a Mr. Keeravani also taking his magic, from India across overseas to Hollywood as well as we speak. The 4 careers, if I may. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. In fact, Keeravani Garu, it's a big comeback for Keeravani Garu. He's already a great musician, but then today he's going to now, no wonder he's going to make Hollywood cinema. I'm expecting that announcement to come in, because that's the kind of music he has given. Natu Natu song, and with Chandrabose sir, who has written the lyrics. Can you believe the kind of song, the kind of energy? And it's not easy to write a song like that. They put in so much effort. And already, I'd say Junior NTR Garu is already part of Hollywood. The interviews, what he gives, and the kind of a slang he started talking about it, I've started seeing that, a Hollywood star already there. And Ramcharan is already camping there with his family. And I'm seeing that, Telugu talent and Indian talent is going abroad. All the talents are going to get truly the kind of recognition and the kind of opportunity which we never saw. A.R. Rahman sir is a example. After winning the Oscars, he's like a biggest entity in Oscars. Everyone in Hollywood, every filmmaker is looking at Rahman for their music. That's the way it's going to be for Keeravani Garu, as well as for the whole talent which has worked behind RRR. I'm saying that it's a proud moment. We had so far, Raman sir and Rasul Pukati being talked about in the international arena. And now it's going to be much more. Many more talents are going to be spoken in Hollywood as well as in, entire, I would say overseas markets. So it's a biggest moment. So many talents getting recognition.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's a biggest moment for Indian cinema.
And, as you were talking about, both the stars of our Junior NTR Garu and Ram Charan Garu, they've been, the amount of work they put in at the Oscars. Samariya Nagaraj, who continues to be with us in the broadcast, how much effort they've put in to promote this in Hollywood. After getting the initial round of wins, they have these stars, camping in Los Angeles, holding screenings, meeting people, holding interviews. They're literally giving interviews on every major broadcast in America. They're also, setting a playbook of how to do it, isn't it, Ms. Samariya Nagaraj, of how to do this. For example, let's hope that PS2, Ponniyin Selvan 2 gets an Oscar nomination. If they have to go get what they want, RRR is given the playbook of how to do this.
See, absolutely, they have created playbook not only to go for Oscars and all stuff. They have created playbook for every other thing: how to do a film, how to promote a film, how to do a film in COVID, how an actor should treat that film as his own film and promote the film. See, there is a very big thing here that most of the actors, they don't even come to promote their own films. That is a very big mistake that many people do in Indian films in the mass. But it has eventually changed. But it changed after RRR only. So there are so many things it has created playbook. For example, when Junior NTRG, right, when he gave interview to an English media, right, his slang was like absolutely, his accent and everything was like a guy who's staying in Los Angeles for more than 20 years. He was like a native guy for staying there. So this playbook, right, will help any other film which goes to Oscar. Okay, they will have a way in which to approach the Oscar. One big thing is this film has given confidence for all other films that yes, we can also win an Oscar. Our film also can be part of Oscar. Our film also can do things which others fail to do, right? Again, I'm going to Dhananjayan sir. Dhananjayan sir will always say that you can do a film, but you have to market a film very, very well. They have not only marketed the film, they have marketed themselves, they have marketed the film, they have marketed their process, they have marketed their project, they have marketed their songs, they have marketed their songs with their small 2 minutes video. They asked for 2 minutes video. When NATU NATU released, I still remember, just dance and send me the 2 minutes video you want to do. So people started like, it became a hobby where every morning, everyone will just get up and they do NATU NATU and they send the song to the team. So it was like an organic marketing. It was not an inorganic marketing at any point. It was not by paying some Google ads, sending them some, spending some crores, putting the teaser to everyone. Nothing happened like that. It all happened organically. They made people to be part of the film. They believed in people, people believed in them, and both worked. The playbook they created for the whole film, not only for Oscars, from the release date, from the date they announced the film till today, this playbook should be the basics or mantra that has to be followed in future. So before there was a different playbook. Now this is a playbook. Hey, go for marketing, go for all the cities. See, look at Kamal sir. Kamal sir's experience is much higher than this team. But after NATU NATU success, he also went all the states he wants to go. I think Dhananjayan sir will accept me. He went to all the states for marketing. All the states for marketing.
Dhananjayan sir, do you accept?
Absolutely. I would say that Vikram, you look at it, he came back in a big way and it created history. In fact, Vikram was the first industry hit in Tamil cinema.
Yep.
Tamil cinema has never witnessed such a big box office collection ever. It created, it collected more than 180 crore. Seeing that, Ponniyin Selvan team went around the country and then they promoted and become more than 200 crore in Tamil Nadu. In fact, Tamil Nadu has never seen 200 crore box office, for any film. Both these films, Vikram was the benchmark. Vikram, benchmark was set by Kamal sir. Like, Nagaraj rightly said, Kamal sir got inspired by RRR, I would say, because he would have seen, how this team came back twice. Can you believe the perseverance, somebody, they promoted already. They could have easily said that, no, already you have got interviews and everything done. Guys, please make use of it and, maybe television ads and all. But they came back again and giving interviews and talking about the film again. My God, what an energy, what an, perseverance this team had. they came back and promoted the film, revived the interest in the film, and become a biggest box office. In fact, when Triple R got released in Tamil Nadu, everybody thought it's a Telugu film. What is the big thing about the film? But the making of the film really worked and brought in the big box office collection in Tamil Nadu. Not just in Tamil Nadu, in Andhra, Telangana, overseas, across North India, it became more than 1,000 crore collection in India, and overseas, the film became a bigger success.
On that note, we have a question for you coming from my colleague over here, Nikita. You're talking about, Mr. Dhananjay is talking about Hindi,
yes,
and how well RRR did. You had a question on it.
Yeah. Hello, sir. It's a pleasure speaking with you.
Yes.
I really wanted to ask, after RRR and NATU NATU, the road that it's created, do you think the Hindi film industry, of course, is very inspired? Do you see a wave of change in how they will view at storytelling, the art of filmmaking? Do you see this change happening in the Hindi film industry?
Absolutely. Already Pathan has shown the way. You look at Pathan, kind of box office success, and the grand filmmaking, Pathan film has made it. It's like a truly Mission Impossible. We saw a Mission Impossible, a James Bond film in Pathan. And I'm saying that, such kind of films are going to come in more and more in Hindi cinema. And Hindi cinema truly has already made a comeback with Pathan. It's going to, do more such wonders very soon. They are going to see Natu Natu. They are going to see the success of Triple R, and they are going to definitely continue. And I'm expecting much more, effort coming from Hindi cinema, because Hindi cinema can easily connect with the Oscars, much more than a regional cinema, because they know the market very well. They got the biggest of international market, and I'm sure Hindi cinema, a lot of talents are there who are going to do this similar kind of thing. Looking at the way this Triple R team entered and made it a big success.
That very important point you make, Mr. Dhananjay. You're talking about, the films that are making it and the stars that are making it at the Oscars are from regional Indian cinema, originally speaking. But you can't say regional anymore. It's a highly, hotly contested word. What is regional about RRR? If there was a film that whole of India went to the theatre to watch, it was RRR. There's nothing regional about RRR. RRR is an Indian film in every single which way. It has a specific Indian language in which was originally made in, and even those makers made it simultaneously with every actor's dubbing and everything in 4 other languages. If anything that was Indian, RRR was Indian, accepted, loved, admired, across the country, breaking every single barrier, and of course now broken the last one, to the West by winning the Best Song Award at the 95th Academy Awards, Oscars 2023. RRR's Natu Natu winning a much expected Oscar. Let's keep reminding people that this was a predestined Oscar. This was no surprises over here. There was a song that was going to win an Oscar award this year. It was going to be RRR and Natu Natu. And the competition, it beat out Rihanna, Lady Gaga. I mean, these are not small names in the Hollywood music industry, in the American music industry. And, which also goes to show that even when you're doing a song which is so Indian, the quality of recording, mixing and mastering, that's being done with a song like this is as good as anybody else in the world, if possibly better now. It is why it's beating so many people. True.
And just speaking of one of the songs that I truly like was Lift Me Up by Rihanna, and again a beautiful masterpiece. It was in fact a heartfelt goodbye to Chadwick Boseman, the late actor of Black Panther. But I think when we speak of winning the best song in the Oscars category, one just looks at the connection it makes with the audience. It's there, or you have it or you don't. And I think Natu Natu excelled in that parameter. And I hope there's a part 2 to it. Is there an RR part 2? Should we start a petition?
Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're really getting ahead of ourselves. I think for now, in this moment, it has to be reminded that it is not fair that RRR was not nominated in the Best Film category or in the Best Director category, because Mr. Rajamouli has won Best Director award in Critics Circle Awards, the New York Critics Circle Award over there. So it's not that far-fetched. The only question at this point is, to both of you, let me start with Mr. Dhananjay and then go to Mr. Savani Nagaraj. Mr. Dhananjay, RRR was not India's official entry to the Oscars. This was entered by their American distributor, Variance Media. Had it been India's official entry to the Oscars and had all efforts had gone in, we would have seen all the serious categories, screenplay, editing, all the main categories for which RRR should be nominated, which is not getting nominated.
I agree. I completely agree with you. See, but look at it, a team of people from Film Federation of India, they always select very artistic film, thinking that, only artistic film will get recognition at Oscars.
Exactly.
They think that, Oscars belong to that, very niche category of film. And that's where the Federation of India team of jury, they went around, watching all the film, and finally they selected a very niche film and sent it across for Oscar as an Indian entry. This kind of niche film, can never market it across the globe. Marketing across the globe costs a lot of money. In fact, so many articles came in about the kind of money RRR team has invested. RRR team, a lot of people criticizing also they spent around 80-90 crores. I'm not able to support that, but I would say more than the money, the personal effort of Rajamouli Garu, Junior NTR, and Ramcharan has made the entire magic. It's not the money; it's the effort what personally these people have put in as brought in this Oscar. But just forget the amount or whatever it is. Look at the kind of effort. Can a small budget film, which is already made it for a niche audience, the producer and the team, can they ever support and go out and do such a big campaign in Oscar? Oscar winning is not a joke. You have to do such a big campaign, go around a lot of festivals and do so many such things, in terms of, interviews and shows and everything. Then only everybody in the Oscar, jury, they will notice there is a film made like this from India, and they will recognize the film for best foreign category film. But nobody in India, understands that, particularly Film Federation of India, doesn't understand the kind of money required to market the film. They just select a niche film, thinking that the film will automatically win the Oscar. And that's the biggest mistake. But RRR has now shown the way. RRR has shown the way and told Film Federation of India, my dear, even if you don't nominate it, I will go out on my own and I will get the Oscars. And now where will you keep your faces?
Exactly.
You didn't select my film, but now look at it, I won the Oscar for the best, song, original song. Can you believe it? It's a Telugu song, and it's not
made in Hyderabad.
I'll put it, it's a Telugu song. You can't call it as an Indian song. It's a Telugu language. And please don't forget it. Rajamouli Garu everywhere in the interview says, exactly. I come from Telugu cinema from India.
Yes.
He doesn't say Indian cinema. He says Telugu cinema. He is a proud Telugu filmmaker. He talks about it. And you didn't want to recognize the film. You didn't want to send it across, despite the fact you knew that, this team will go around and take it to the Oscars. But you went and selected a small film, and the filmmakers didn't even, come anywhere near the shortlist.
Yes,
so
let's be fair. That film is a very good film. Nobody is saying anything about the film, but we're also always talking about the chances at the Oscars. How do you win an Oscar? If you want to know, please ask Mr. Rajamouli and the team of RRR. They will tell you how to win an Oscar, even when they don't get officially selected by their own country to be sent for the Oscars. Samanya and Nagaraj, this is a seminal moment as far as India's Oscar journey is concerned, isn't it? Because we're talking about the playbook last time we spoke. But RRR is talking about confidence and belief as to what will work at the Oscars. Knowing that this is the kind of content, this is the kind of cinema that has every single chance, that will showcase India and what Indians like, what Indians are like, what Indians feel, and yet get what we want, which we've always wanted but not got and gotten enough of it. If only Samanya Nagaraj had RRR been India's official entry at the Oscars, we would have seen it win more awards than only one.
So I just want to take the points from Dhananjay and Sir here. One big thing is they always say artistic film or real life things that actually the movie will not run inside the country. Most of the people will not see those films. But what will happen is that they will nominate that film. Many will ask that question, what film is this? Few people will see the film.
Just hold on for 1 second. We're just showing the visuals of Mr. Keeravani walking up to collect his Oscar. Let's quickly just listen in.
Ready? Ooh! RRR! RRR!
Chandra Bose originally earned a degree for electrical and electronics engineering before becoming...
Namaste.
Ready?
That's right.
RRR!
That's the moment, ladies and gentlemen. That is the moment. That is the moment. Mr. M.M. Keeravani, the composer of the song Natu Natu, walking up to the stage and grabbing that Oscar. That's the moment. Finally, we got those visuals all the way from LA. it's such pure joy watching this,
Yeah.
and everybody's happy. Look at that, a standing ovation of
Yeah.
people, behind. It's a moment that everybody, the entire auditorium, the Dolby Theatre auditorium is just going crazy.
Crazy.
As crazy as the people went while dancing for it in the movie. It's surreal watching. All those people from the West, who joined in the movie as actors, and now as
Celebrating
and
with
celebrating it outside as well. So it's just beautiful to watch. Nikita, I mean, we are Indians. We love movies with songs and dances. And for how long have we felt like this is what we like? We can't show it to like those people over there. They're not going to enjoy this. They're going to complain that it's too long. Who has songs and dances in between a movie?
Yeah.
And look at what's happening in the year 2023, a song and dance.
A song and dance. It's a year of song and dance and celebration, and I think we've completely changed the landscape of, Indian songs doing extremely well internationally, and I'm sure the world out there is already looking forward to another Indian masterpiece.
Right, absolutely. A masterpiece of a composition, a masterpiece of choreography, and getting its due. And that's Janelle Monáe, presenting that award. And you see the vibe inside that auditorium. You've got to give it. Everybody's happy that RRR has done well. We saw those scenes when Parasite did well 2 years ago. They were very happy for South Korean cinema.
Right,
That South Korean cinema finally got its due. They've been doing such good work all this while, but finally they got their big moment in the sun. And if ever there was a big moment in the sun for Indian cinema, Indian ethos, Indian tastes, what Indians like in terms of what they like doing their art, that's the big moment in the sun, ladies and gentlemen. So for next time, there should be a movie discussion. Nobody should say, just because a song and dance in the movie, it's of lesser quality, or that it will not do well in the West. It's not that every movie should have a song and dance. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that
I won't mind. I really won't mind.
Yeah, imagine Pathan without Jhume Jo Pathan. I mean, it's so dry, it's so boring. Why would you want to do that? And I think it's India is owning up to itself on the global stage in many ways.
With pride.
With pride.
Yeah.
And we're doing it with our movies as well, and it is a reflection of that, isn't it? I mean, we're seeing that with our economy. We're seeing that with what we're able to do, for the world. If it's earthquake relief, if India was a world global person, it's sort of summoning all its strength to stake its claim in the world stage. And so is Indian cinema, isn't it?
Definitely. And I think with RRR and NATU NATU and the other, awards at Oscars, we definitely are looking at a huge amount of convergence with the international cinema. I'm sure people around the world would want to work with our artists. They'll want to work with our composers. And I think there's a huge deal of opportunity there.
Yeah, very good point. Now the barriers are broken. Now if we are sitting in India and watching South Korean content on Netflix, South Koreans should be sitting in Seoul and watching our content, over there. Not just South Korea, just the entire world, because it is that good.
It is.
Now let's quickly listen in to what the man of the moment, the composer of the song Natu Natu, Mr. M.M. Keeravani, had to say.
Thank you, Academy. I grew up listening to the Carpenters, and now here I am with the Oscars. There was only one wish on my mind. RRR has to win, pride of every Indian, and must put me on the top of the world. Love you all. Thank you.
Guys, ready? Ooh! RRR! RRR!
Chandra Bose originally earned a degree for electrical and electronics engineering before becoming...
Namaste.
Guys, ready? Ooh! RRR! RRR!
Chandra Bose originally earned a degree for electrical and electronics engineering before becoming...
Namaste.
Ready? Ooh!
I think one can only imagine what M.M. Keeravani was going through in his mind as he goes and receives the prestigious Golden Award of the night, and we can all see the warmth and the celebration at Dolby Theatre. I think words we fall short of words when we speak of Indians going gaga at this celebration. And the entire team of RRR, I'm sure, are just really, really humbled by this prestigious award. And this discussion and these visuals, I'm sure they'll be on replay on everyone's screens for days to come.
Well, certainly, Nikita, I know one thing is for sure, the entire country at this point in time is right now Natu, Natu, Natu. It's Natuing its way, it has Natued its way to the biggest stage in Hollywood. The 95th Academy Awards are backing that original song award. We were slated to take place, bag all the 3 awards, but it seems like all that breeds couldn't win that best documentary feature award. But the short documentary, The Elephant Whisperers and the original song RRR, 2 out of 3. I think that's a big takeaway. I'm sure people are going to be talking about it. Twitter feeds are going to be flooded, don't you think, Nikita?
I think it's, like I said, it's just going to be months of celebration. I think we're going to be definitely thinking of our past glories, and we'll have absolutely no shame and guilt when we show that off to probably our friends and relatives living abroad. I think every Indian right now takes a huge sense of pride and joy as we definitely create a mark.
Well, the awards have been pretty much wrapped up, but there's so much to talk about apart from these awards as well. I mean, for starters, for the first time since 1961, you had instead of a red carpet, a champagne carpet this time around. The colors are sand, if you will. That happened. Jimmy Kimmel talking about, no bloodshed this time around, no slapgate, no kissgate, none of those controversies. He hosted the awards, with full vigor and zeal. What was your favorite moment from the Oscars? Of course, it is going to be one of these shots as well. RRR picking up that trophy, that massive, massive Oscar. A.R. Rahman was talking about, how he hoped RRR to pick up that Oscar. But what was your favorite moment from the Oscars?
I think, of course, RRR and Natu Natu taking on stage and winning the prestigious Golden Award is one. But there were certain interesting key elements this Oscar that I'll just like to point out. Would you know that David Bryan, he actually performed live on stage, and he had these extended fingers, which were actually from the movie Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, because he was actually depicting the characters in the movie by those extended fingers. So I think Oscars this time, it's not just your traditional format. I think they're trying to incorporate these really quirky elements in the presentation and style.
And if we talk about that movie as well, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, the amount of Oscars this particular film bagged, it is actually quite immense and intense. We'll play some of those visuals out as well. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, bagging the award for the best supporting cast, both male and female. There's a really emotional, and really gritty sort of a bite that also a reaction that came across from the supporting cast of Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And that's just not all. The best director, the best editing, best original screenplay, both the supporting cast, it all went to Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. But the highlight and the moment at this time around is, of course, RRR, Natu Natu, Ramcharan, Junior NTR, S.S. Rajamouli, all those big names that have donned that particular stage. RRR has made its way with that particular dance stepped its way to the biggest stage in Hollywood, the Dolby Theatre in Hollywood. It's the 95th Academy Awards, and RRR for the best original song has bagged an Oscar. Right, absolutely. Krishna, we're also joined by my colleague Krishna in the studio, and Nikita also continues to be with us here. We also have a couple of guests joining us, but Krishna, I mean, of course, everybody's talking about RRR, the movie. Your favorite particular moment, was it any one of Jimmy Kimmel's, jokes? Was it a stand-up act? One of the major dance performances that happened? Or is it RRR?
My favorite moment is that Mr. Keeravani wins the Oscar for Best Song, goes on stage, and the first thing he says is that I grew up listening to the Carpenters. Now I've won the Oscars. And I thought that's my favorite moment. That's like to tell like Hollywood, like, oh, you do Carpenters, we do our music. You know, for long we've been talking, we've been in this thing where they do something in Hollywood that's superior. You know, that is another world altogether. What we do here is only for like our personal consumption, not necessarily world class or world. So I think that, that has definitively been broken, and I think that's been broken with a great comparison. The Carpenters is an iconic band of the West. So many people grew up listening to the Carpenters, but here you go, a man who grew up listening to the Carpenters composes Natu Natu and wins an Oscar for it. That's my favorite moment.
Absolutely. You know what? To put this victory in context, and of course talk more about it, we're joined by Kasturi Shankar, actress and activist. Many warm welcome on the broadcast, and I could see Praveen Gandhi over there. I think he just left his seat over there. Film director and producer. We're going to get into inside their brains as well, pick their brains as to what they're
I can't wait to
looking
ask Kasturi a few questions, because I've been speaking to her for the last few days. Telling her that the Oscars, because Kasturi is an actress, activist, many things, but Kasturi is an Oscar junkie, if I may. Somebody who's been tracking Oscars very, very closely for a very, very long time. I had a huge debate with her the other day on what should win the Oscar. So I'm just going to quickly ask Kasturi, Natu Natu, predestined, but I thought it was beautiful that Mr. Keeravani went on stage and said, I grew up listening to the Carpenters. Now I won the Oscars. I thought that's my champagne moment for this Oscars.
It's just, we're still, I won't say we're in disbelief, but we're still savoring the moment. My neighbors I'm obviously in Telugu land right now, and it's like a festival here. It's like Diwali out in any city where there's Telugu people around, and that includes Chennai as well.
Of course. The second most spoken language in Chennai is Telugu.
We've all been glued to the TV. I don't even remember the last time I woke up this early to watch the Oscars, but today we've been glued to the TV, and it has rewarded us double-fold. First, the Elephant Whisperers. So Tamil Ketichu, I got to listen to Tamil winning first and Telugu following suit. And, cannot say enough how proud we are that the true representative of Indian cinema came from Telugu and Tamil, and it's no longer that stereotypical
Bollywood
word called Bollywood. Goodbye. Let's talk about Indian cinema. Thank you.
Right. My colleagues Nikita and Kabir are with us, and they have questions for you as well, Kasturi. We have Mr. Praveen Gandhi also joining. Quickly, I'll ask first questions and hand it over to Mr. Praveen Gandhi, known Tamil filmmaker, has made films with Telugu. He's debuted with a Telugu star in his first film called Ratchagan, with Mr. Nagarjuna. And now look at, I wanted to say this to everybody, especially north of India. If you asked me 30 years ago, which was the best, who can make the best action film in the country, I would have said Telugu. And now you have a Telugu film, an action film, packed film that is now winning glory at the Oscars. Praveen Gandhi, your initial thoughts, and then I'll hand it back to my colleagues.
Yeah, actually, I'm so happy for this moment. 2009, A.R. Rahman received 2 Oscars. So that time the whole India celebrated. Same moment, now every Indian, they are happy about this moment, because Triple R, see, in the playing cards, Rummy, in the Rummy, Triple King, Triple Ace, Triple Queen, it's a very very favorite. It's like a Triple R is the very, very, very favorite in the India. Now, each and everywhere, now we are talking about film industry people, they are very much happy about going to receive such a great honor for Indian cinema. This is not only for in the Telugu industry or Tamil industry or South Indian film industry. It's a Indian film industry. Now it's our Indian film industry is glowing. It's all over the world. Our film industry, it's glowing. Very soon, James Cameron combination, our Rajamouli, director Rajamouli, going to do the project with him. It's a very, very proud of every Indian, not only cinema audience, it is a very proud moment for the whole Indian, in my point of view. And see, last 2-3 years, Telugu and Tamil films, it's running all over the India. It's a very good, actually, some people they are saying this is a South Indian film industry, North Indian film industry. No, it's all barrier, it's broken. Every wall it's broken. Cinema, it's a purely entertain. It's a all over India celebration. Media is the cinema now.
Absolutely.
And one more thing, after subtitle, now the youngsters, they are watching Korean serials. That is a very shocking news. Only they are very much interested to watching Korean serials. So
that's actually a great shout. That's actually a great shout. Talking about the movie and the song Natu Natu, it in itself required a bit of subtitling for it to be a pan-India phenomenon and now global excitement, of course. But let's quickly take a look at Suchitra Bose, who's the wife of the composer of the song. Let's take a look at that reaction that's just come in.
When this Oscar is being announced, how I was intense. So when Bose was writing the song for Keeravani garu, that time till the first word to last word was completely finished. The same tension we underwent.
Well, you know, Kasturi is still with us on the broadcast. I'm sure you've been tracking the developments from Dolby Theatre in Hollywood. Did you look at the performance? Did you watch the performance of Natu Natu that took place on the stage? And would you like to compare the two protagonists of that dance sequence with Junior NTR and Ram Charan? Because let me tell you, those guys performed the song really, really well. I mean, must have used a lot of hours in that choreography.
Kasturi, go easy, please.
I'm going to say that my favorite version of Natu Natu, my favorite tribute version of Natu Natu is by the BTS guys. Okay, that's probably more popular and took Natu Natu to an Asian, pan-Asian audience much more than the Oscar performance today. Today, out of the Oscar performances, I have to say Natu Natu, obviously because I'm the whole Telugu vibe and my, everybody, everywhere, all at once rooting for Natu Natu. But I think Lady Gaga completely ate it. She completely ate it from a heartfelt performance point of view. But nobody can match Ram Charan and NTR in their steps. I mean, I think that's some things are uniquely fabulous, and those guys are fabulous. So that everything, Prem Rakshit Master, Chandra Bose, Keeravani, the magic of Rajamouli, everything. But the other part is, of course, it brought a little bit of attention on stage in the Oscars to Ukraine. One more shout out to Ukraine. So that was nice too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
and
we have been gone are the days when we used to, emulate Hollywood steps and Broadway steps and vaudeville steps. Now
they're doing our steps.
It's emulating India's dance steps. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. You know what? It's quite the right time to point out what Kasturi was, talking about how Ukraine has again taken center stage from the United Nations to the Dolby Theatre. That particular short feature film as well, wife of Navalny, was on the stage.
Kasturi, I was going to come to you on that great point that Kabir is picking up on. The fact that two things. One, Nikita was telling us about how the song was shot outside at Zelensky's palace in Ukraine. Natu Natu, that is. And then you have a year in which India's documentary features was nominated, All That Breathes, did not win the best documentary feature Oscar. It lost to a film called Navalny, who is Putin's greatest critic. So there's clearly a political message being sent by the Oscars.
Still stuck up in jail. Navalny's wife was on stage. We also have that reaction. Kasturi and Praveenji, if you don't mind, let's play that reaction out as well. Let the world know what she had to say.
My husband is in prison just for telling the truth. My husband is in prison just for defending democracy. Alexei, I am dreaming the day when you will be free.
Well, so, I mean, that's a big shout coming from a war-stricken zone.
It's incredible. It's surreal, isn't it, Nikita? You were talking to us about, the song being from Natu Natu being shot at Zelensky's palace to Navalny winning and Navalny's wife coming on stage. Yeah. It's incredible. Surreal, isn't it?
It is. And I think the world stands together on, the Russia-Ukraine battle, the issue that's been going on for almost more than a year now. And I think platforms like these only sort of make it, they connect to the audiences in a very different way. And I think we have to thank platforms like these to sort of bring this to the public's attention.
Yeah. And Kabir, in that sense, let's quickly take this back to Kasturi again. Kasturi, what would you say are the political message? Every year at the Oscars is always a political message, and this year it's loud and clear, except that there was poetic justice for Natu Natu in between all of this. Whereas that film deserved to be nominated for Best Film category and Best Director category. The fact that this was not India's official entry to the Oscars.
No, well, I want to say only good things about RRR. Let's talk about Oscar, RR. We can spell Oscar differently today.
Oscar.
So I want to say, let's concentrate on the positives. But, if you've seen the other contenders for Best Picture, RRR is a popular movie, and the song touched the chords of many people in many different ways, and it deserves to win. But Best Picture or Best Director, I think given the playing field, I think the Best Picture did win. There were, not to take away from RRR's many wonderful features, but I think even in India, we did have a lot of content coming out last year that was very much, very thought-provoking, very enjoyable. Everybody had their own redeeming points. So let's not go there. But as far as the docu-short was concerned, I thought the fact that All That Breathes didn't win and bowed gave space, so as to say, to give way to wife of Navalny. I thought that was political too. From a content point of view, I think they really wanted the wife of Navalny to have her say on the Oscar stage. I think that was a political decision, more than a creative or technical decision. But I think it is sometimes, and the Oscars have always been a political stage. Sometimes that's what you do. I think Natu Natu won not for a political reasons. They won everything. They were bulldozing over everything. But I think that added to the Oscars' favorable viewpoint, for sure.
But, Kasturi, as it has been, it's difficult to debate on this, about what is the film that should have won, which is the best film, and what should have been nominated. It's a long debate. We can debate it till the cows come home, you know that.
Everything. No. They won everything, not just the Oscars. The Oscars is the culmination of about 7 months of winning everything they touched. So if you've seen the movie, you'll know why.
Yeah, well, for example, like Everything Everywhere All at Once is the film that has won the Best Film Oscar. And I'm sure the debate will go on for a very long time as to whether that is the deserving film, because...
From India's entry trailer show, yes, I get the subtext that you were not saying about it being a Gujarati movie, getting to the Oscars, but it is a good film. I think the criteria we use to send a movie as an official representative of our nation's content has to do with contemporary topicality, relevance. Also, I think we in India, the selection committee is biased and a little partial towards the smaller, humbler movies, as which doesn't need a country to back it. They don't need anybody's backing. They are global. They are a global phenom. They don't need somebody to recommend them to the Oscars. So I think what the Indian government did, what the selection committee did, was a good gesture also.
Knowing the fact that RRR is going to do what it's going to do either way, with or without India sending it, they might as well send another film.
You know what, Praveen Gandhi ji is also still with us on the broadcast. Praveen ji, do you think there are certain names that should have been here on the list and, sort of missed out?
Actually, this two heroes, no? Usually, if two heroes combination, the chemistry won't work out because every hero they have separate fans and a separate style. Here, both heroes, they are very good chemistry. Because of that chemistry only made such a great history because of chemistry between the two heroes. That is the Rajamouli special work. Actually, I know Sendil, cameraman Sendil of Triple R cameraman. He always say about Rajamouli, the whole family, I think 20 members, cameraman, script writer, costume designer, music director, the whole family, they are dedicating. Because of their dedicating only, such a beautiful, wonderful song created by the whole family. That is not one man show. Not only Rajamouli, it is the whole family is working hard work for each and every project and each and every framework. So that is the most important. Natu means it's called country. So now that Natu word made such a big vibration in the whole country. Not only whole country, now after receive Oscar award, now it's a world name. Natu means country. Our India country. It's a very popular in film industry. In future days, India going to rule in film industry all over the world. This is the gate opened because of Mr. Rajamouli hard work and the two heroes movement, the special dance. Particularly, I want to appreciate that dance master movement is so cute.
Yes. If ever there was, case of the choreography helping the song make the people listen to the song again and again. People first got attracted to the choreography, wasn't it? Kabir, was for the same for you as well, right? You didn't know squad bar was going on, but that choreography was really eye-catching. You were like, what is going on over there? You had to unmute and listen to it in these days.
Absolutely. I like to play football. I thought it would help with my football games as well. But, talking about the women at the Oscars as well, the women at play in the film industry as well. There was a pre-Oscar Versace party, then there was a particular party and an event just honoring the women in the industry. Nikita, would you want to take that up?
100%. In fact, Kasturi, I would love to ask you a question around women at the Oscars, Indian women winning huge accolades at the Oscars. I'm talking about Gurneet Monga and Kartike Gonsalves, a powerful women duo that they've created this beautiful documentary short film that of course won the Oscar and got us the Golden Trophy home. Do you think it's going to be a huge inspiration for budding documentary makers, especially young girls, looking to make it big in international cinema?
Oh, it's just bigger than that. Incredible. First off, huge congratulations to Kartiki, and a huge shout out of gratitude to Gurneet Mongia for picking this beautiful gem up and taking it to the world stage.
But Kasturi, beg your pardon, I'm going to have to ask you to. All right. Do go on. We had a small little technical difficulty. Do go on, Kasturi.
Okay, I was saying a huge moment for documentary filmmakers in India, because that's a very forgotten breed in India. We have had a lot of content coming out, but they're kind of relegated to the forgotten corners of YouTube or some independent local festivals and screenings. But when Kartiki makes such a gorgeous, such a touching short, don't forget the women involved in the movie itself, Belly and little Ammu, little 3-month-old Ammu, all the women in that documentary. To have Gurneet Mongia pick up this short and take it to the global stage, I think that's where something happened. Oscars are not new for Gurneet, actually. So, she's been there before. So great. And I loved how they showed up. I loved how Gurneet showed up in that red sari when everybody else is playing a game of one-upmanship with their looks, this lady goes up there as a true Indian woman in a regular pretty silk red sari. I mean, that was so fabulous. I think right after Banu Attaya, who also showed up in a sari to get her first Oscar, the very first Oscar in the history of Oscars, the very first Oscar to an Indian, of course, going to a woman, the legendary Banu Attaya. And today, Guneet Mongia and Kartikeya have made us all proud. But one step for Kartiki, a giant step for documentary films in India. I think they're going to see a lot more funding, a lot more interest. There is no shortage of content. There's no shortage of issues. Even the fact that, you know, everything that breathes, all that breathes was a deserving winner. It has collected a collection of awards this past year. It is one of the most heart-wrenching, thought-provoking documentaries I have had the good fortune to watch, even in a global scale, never mind Indian or otherwise. It's something that the world needs to watch right now.
On a larger scale, the voice for the voiceless and how important that can actually end up being. But 2 out of 3, it certainly seems like a good score, doesn't it, Krishna?
No, 2 out of 3. 3 out of 3. You've got all that breathers. It went all the way up to the finals. It lost to a very topically and politically charged documentary. I mean, that's understandable. Doesn't take away from all that breathers at all.
I fully agree with Kasturi. It's a 3-on-3 already. The day these things got nominated, the songs and the documentaries got nominated because they were good enough to first of all be there. Look at the competition they beat out to even be there.
And it's
Look
not
at what
just Oscars. It's so many other world arenas. These are content that have been picking up recognition and acclaim and awards all across the globe.
All through the season, all through the award season. Across award season in the US and Europe, you know, it's as you rightly point out, Kasturi, the Oscars are nothing but a culmination of the entire award season, which sort of begins, you know, with the Toronto Film Festival, and then goes on to the Cannes Film Festival, and then, you know, you have all the American awards, and finally you have the Oscars. It's like it's the big wedding. So, you know, in weddings, you know, not everything is going to go exactly according to, you know, our preference. So
honestly, and we've discussed this before, Krishna, Oscars is more of a mainstream, more of a commercial celebration.
Right.
It's not purely artistic. It's not purely technical. It's also popular and populist. So I think it's a balance of both worlds, but it's not necessarily a comment on excellence as such. It's also a comment on reception, on mainstream reception.
Absolutely. And as we speak, Kasturi, I can see another colleague from the Tamil film industry, music director Dina, about to join us on this broadcast as well.
Great talking to all of you, and hip hip hooray! Keeravani Garu, big shout out to him. Happy for Telugu and happy for India and happy for art and movies and the great magic of movies. Bye-bye.
Peace and love, Kasturi. Peace and love.
Thank you so much for joining with us. Well,
Krishna,
before we do move on to our next guest, let's quickly give the viewers a little bit of a recap about, you know, the top 3 awards out there, per se. The best film, that has, of course, gone to Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. The actress, the female protagonist of the film, Michelle Yeoh, she has bagged the best female Actors Award at the 95th Academy Awards, and Brendan Fraser, sort of like a, you know, resurgence of Brendan Fraser as well, with that fantastic, you know, gritty and moving picture of The Whale. We also have those visuals coming in of Michelle Yeoh. Let's take a look at those visuals as well, and of course Natu Natu bagging the best original song award at the 95th Academy Awards. So much to talk about. India has certainly been aiming for the stars and quote unquote has fortunately made it there. Visuals on your television screens, folks.
This is quite a moment, you know, because the hopes were that Kate Blanchett would win it for Tar. But this is a surprise, a happy surprise, because it's a crowd favorite, the film Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's a happy surprise. Michelle Yeoh, an Asian, actress winning the Best Actress award. Another political statement again being made over there.
Well, I for one thought she should have gotten the award for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon as well. But and you know, better late than never. She's finally here for Crazy Rich Asians as well. She's been on a different role and steam for the longest time.
Like the Meryl Streep of Asia, so to speak.
Well, if you put it that way. And of course, we also have, you know, the movie bagging the best original screenplay, editing, the best directing. It also bagged both the supporting cast roles, male and female as well. We also have a reaction from Everything Everywhere All at Once. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that, those visuals as well. The best director going to go and receive the Best Director award.
Oh my God, thank you, sir. Our fellow nominees, you guys are our heroes. This is weird. We want to dedicate this to the mommies, all the mommies of the world, to our moms.
Known collectively as the Daniels.
For Everything Everywhere All at Once.
At Emerson College in Boston. They began their career.
So on the Libra scales, Krishna and Nikita, I'm into you too as well. All is quiet on the Western Front that has bagged so many major awards like Production Design, Best International Film, Original Score, the Best Cinematography, and on the other hand, you've got Everything Everywhere All at Once. Of course, apart from the fact that Brendan Fraser, in his resurgence, has picked up the Best Male Actors Award. These two films, I mean, you know, the larger canon out there is that, you know, you make a World War film and that ends up bagging most of the awards. On the other hand, you've got a movie like...
I know where you're going with this. You know, it's very easy, you know, when you discuss Oscars, to just put it down to, you know, this political factor, that context, and etc., etc. Let's first of all go back and remember the fact that all the films that are nominated are fantastic films. All the 10 films that are nominated for Best Film are fantastic films. All 5 of the nominees for Best Song are great songs, out of which Natu Natu won the Best Song. All 5 of the Best Documentary Shots are fantastic, out of which Elephant Whisperers won. So all these films are fantastic films, take nothing away from any of these films. It's only a question of what, and the debate about, you know, what should win the award finally. I have watched most of these movies. All Quiet on the Western Front is actually a remake of a classic film called All Quiet on the Western Front, this time made in the German language. Incidentally, it was a film, it was a story set in Germany, but was never made in the German language. They finally made it in the German language, a superb production. The moment I saw it, I knew it had to win the Best Foreign Language Film Award. It was that good. Because, strangely, war film, when they say in Hollywood, Kabir, they always talk about Second World War. This was a film about the First World War.
And what about the whale? What about the whale? What about the prosthetics, again, the acting that Brendan Fraser...
If you ask me, Brendan Fraser is a fantastic actor. I'm sure his performance is one of the best ever in The Whale. But my heart went out to Austin Butler, who was nominated for Elvis. And I think this was Hollywood making up, paying its penance to Brendan Fraser for all that went on with him with the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. You know, if you ask me, this is Hollywood sort of, you know, atoning themselves for the sins they committed towards Brendan Fraser by giving him the Best Actor Oscar. That's my personal take. I could be wrong.
In fact, sorry.
Nikita, I'm sure you also loved Austin Butler in Elvis a lot. It was a fantastic performance. Colin Farrell in The Banshees of Inisherin, fantastic performance. Bill Nighy, fantastic performance in Living. These are incredible performances. Take nothing away. The Whale is a great performance. It's the kind of performance that wins the Oscars. I'm extremely happy for Brendan Fraser.
And what about this one? What about this one, Nikita? All is Quiet on the Western Front.
Right.
Another war film, bagging so many major awards. What would you like to talk about, say about this particular film?
I think this particular film beautifully highlights how excited these very naive German soldiers are to join the army and, fight the World War I, and how they have these romanticized versions of patriotism and what war is like. But then when they actually face the realities of war, it breaks all these notions and, their notions, and it's been beautifully
So you have a Jojo
highlighted.
Rabbit kind of a situation,
Yeah.
you've got a Valkyrie kind of a situation, and then, of course, Inglourious Bastards, that has already, part of my profanity name of the film, set the tempo for these war films to come
and
up.
that's the beauty, Kabir. We're talking about Valkyrie, which is about Second World War. We're talking about Inglourious, which is about the Second World War. We haven't seen enough about the First World War. How did it even happen the first time? Second World War was, it happened the second time around. The beauty of All Quiet on the Western Front is that it's the first time everybody, and as Nikita was beautifully talking about, the naivety of young Germans who took to the war as if that's the best thing that they can do for their country, only to realize it is the horror of horrors to go through, and that movie gave you that horror. I mean, we're all numbed out by so much content consumption. It's very difficult to shock us these days, but All Quiet on the Western Front still managed to shock us and did not have any of the cliches of the war film that wins Oscars.
Yeah.
Well, we also have with us Gautam Chintamani, who's a film historian, who's also an author. Krishna, would you like to pick his brains on the latest award?
Gautam Chintamani, thank you so much for joining us. You know, so many ways to interpret what is going on at the Oscars. Again, political statements, you know, against Russia, very obvious. You know, there is the India moment. When Parasite won the Oscar for Best Film, it was South Korea's moment at the Oscars, South Korea's moment in Hollywood, for all the good work that South Korean industry has been doing for so many years. And in a sense, that's what seems to have happened with Natu Natu, RRR, and the Indian film industry. And not to mention the Elephant Whisperers, which won the best documentary shot. It's India showing off that we can make documentary shots, we can make documentary features, and we can make the big films and the big song and dances, which, you know, we can do it better than you.
I think the India story at a global level has been happening for a very long time. Slumdog Millionaire, for all practical purposes, is an Indian film, if you see in that context. The best part about Slumdog Millionaire was the first half. But I think more than announcing the arrival of Indian cinema at a global stage, that has happened a long time ago. What has come to light is how Indian filmmakers now understand the way to play this landscape. Oscars is not just about making a great film or a good film. I mean, in the past, there have been many, many films which have won laurels at the Oscars, which have not stood the test of time. But what is interesting here is that how the filmmakers ensured that RRR was the talk of the town. And that is the very big story here. It's not about making a technically sound film. We've been doing that for a very long time. It's not about great technicians or storytellers. We've had them for a very long time. And the West is aware of the prowess that Indian cinema stands for. But the fact that you could go out there, you could, if for the want of a better word, lobby just about enough to make sure that Triple R was spoken about by everybody, right from, say, a Steven Spielberg to a James Cameron, the powers be of Hollywood. And today, walking away with these awards here, I think for me, that is the bigger story, because tomorrow when another filmmaker from India or from this part of the world tries to compete at a global level, they also have to understand that it's not just about making a film or telling a story, because some people may like it, some people may not like it. But what is needed is to ensure that the audiences know about your film, and the critics who play a very big role in pushing films out there are aware of your cinema. And I think that is what this win signifies for me.
Right, clearly the promotion of it all, and I thought that even for that, Lagan, and I remember when Amir Khan got Lagan nominated, you know, there was the first time we heard about how difficult it is to go to LA and make people watch your film, and then, you know, and then hold screenings, and then finally get them to, you know, like it enough to, you know, put that on their list. And from that, from Lagan to now RRR, it's like in Hindi they say Zameen Asman ka difference. You know, in English I'd say, you know, we've come a long way. Yes, you're right in saying the fact that the quality was never in question, but even we've come a long way in terms of how to get the promotion right. Now we seem to have gotten the playbook right, and RRR seems to have, the team of RRR seems to have the playbook. If anybody wants to make a film in India and take it globally, RRR has the playbook for it.
I think today is a very interesting day, because on the one hand you have a popular Indian film, you know, a big event winning, but at the same time you also have a documentary film winning. So you must understand, and it's for us to see that the entire landscape is peppered with opportunities. I think you really struck the nail on the head by saying that Amir Khan did tell us what it took to ensure that, you know, people spoke about your film. When it came to parking yourself in Los Angeles and making sure that, you know, the critics or the voting members of the Academy are aware of this film. From that to this point is indeed a very big journey, because Lagan was a completely 100% Indian film. RRR is a completely 100% Indian film. There has been a Slumdog Millionaire in the middle, which was a big Hollywood production. But what it tells us today is that you can make your kind of films, and if you plug it good enough, then the world is your audience. It's not limited to, say, Andhra Pradesh or Tamil Nadu for a Tamil or Telugu film, or say, uh, uh, specific pockets for a Hindi film. The world is your audience, and I think that is what the success of Parasite and the success of Hong Kong films in the 1980s or the Chinese films in the 1990s uh, tell you, that if you cater for the world audience and if you package your film and you present it in that light, then the world is, in fact, your cinema hall.
Well, absolutely. Well, Krishna, you know what? Before we move on, and of course, Nikit also wants to talk about how there were 14 nominations that were filed, but finally one of those got through. Keeravani, his reaction, let's play that out once again. All of us Indians really proud, glued to that television screen early in the morning, trying to catch a glimpse of those superstars at the Hollywood's biggest stage. Keeravani on your screens, folks.
I grew up listening to the Carpenters. And now, here I am with the Oscars. There was only one wish on my mind. RRR has to win, pride of every Indian, and must put me on the top of the world. Love you all. Thank you.
Are you feeling at the top of the world right now at this point in time?
That was a live composition. That's showing off at another level, Gautam, isn't it? That's what we Indians do. We're not too much. I mean, our original tradition of the Gurukul system is all about, learning by speaking. And, we can just make up things in an instant, and, you don't need to sit and write it down and strategize it and make this and that. If ever there was a, true representation of the Indian way of, learning by doing, I think it was that, Kabir.
Precisely. I mean, just like simply just get it going. I mean, that's what we've heard, isn't it? I mean, Tansen just brought his instrument out and started raining. That's how Indians roll, and now on the biggest stage as well.
Yeah. And Gautam, if you're still with us, some of the greatest Indian composers, Ilayaraja, all these people, they can compose songs within a matter of minutes. That's what the legend says. Ilayaraja can walk into a composing session, and in the next 10 minutes, you have a brand new tune that nobody has ever heard ready. And there you go, you have Keeravani on the Oscar stage. I mean, really, that's my champagne moment. I really want to discuss that with you. He goes on stage and says, I grew up listening to the Carpenters. I won the Oscars, and then makes up an instant song with lyrics that is writing it as he makes it up and sings it over there. I mean, that is showing off at another level, actually, if you ask me.
No, I mean, this has been a very big tradition in Indian cinema. If you spoke about Raja sir, and if you look at Keeravani Garu here, walking into a scenario and transforming it is something which comes very naturally to an Indian artist because of the upbringing, like you rightly said, and the training that we have. But I think what is interesting here is that this methodology of working, this way of working, which a lot of people would have said that doesn't really work, shows and reveals a new kind of storytelling and a new kind of filmmaking approach that completely has left the West, awestruck, because the kind of films that the West is making today, the kind of subjects that the West is tackling, is not attracting the kind of audience that once upon a time it used to do. And this has happened consistently. I mean, in the 80s, when the Hong Kong cinema came up, and in the 90s, when the West was very interested in pumping money into the Chinese film industry, because it was something that they believed could save their own industry. And that is exactly what has happened here with RRR. In fact, an incident comes to my mind that a few years ago, or a couple of years ago, when Tom Cruise's new Top Gun was releasing, Spielberg, in fact, told Tom Cruise somewhere that you saved the industry. And I think that is exactly what Raja Mouli has done for the West, by telling them that you can think of a spectacle beyond your Marvel universes and what have you, and still tell a story which the world would sit up and notice. I think that is something, again, what Keeravani Garu has explained, that, you walk onto the biggest stage for cinema in the world, and you just compose something there, much to the surprise and love of everybody.
But certainly, I mean, Word up, Gautam ji. I was trying to figure out what my champagne moment was ever since I started
because
watching
it is a champagne carpet.
Absolutely.
Because no red carpet. For all those watching, there was no red color carpet, red carpet this time. They went for a champagne color carpet. It's called a champagne carpet.
Interestingly, you know what Jimmy Kimmel said? He said that it goes on to show how confident they are that there's going to be no bloodshed. And that is one of my favorite moments as well. Let's quickly play out that moment from Jimmy Kimmel's live at the Oscars today.
We have strict policies in place. If anyone in this theater commits an act of violence at any point during the show, you will be awarded the Oscar for Best Actor and permitted to give a 19-minute long speech. No, but seriously, the Academy has a crisis team in place. If anything unpredictable or violent happens during the ceremony, just do what you did last year. Nothing. We have strict policies in place.
So strict policy for crisis management. Why? Because by the time the documentary feature, the Best Documentary Feature Award was given last time around, well, controversial things took place and happened on the stage. From your, slap gates to envelope gates, La La Land's name being, announced way before the actual movie. No controversies this time around, which again goes on to show that, it was managed really nicely. A crisis team that was put in place as well. And you know what? The producer said that this is something that happens everywhere. The Met Gala, the Paris Fashion Week, you have crisis teams in place.
We don't have one. We don't have one for this wonderful broadcast live coverage we've been doing since morning. We don't have. We are the crisis team over here inside the studio. Holding together. All the news that's coming in. But it's a good point you make, Kabir, because let's face it. After the slap last year, all focus is like who's going to slap who this year or what's going to happen this year. Because if ever uncertainty was expected at the Oscars, it's definitely this Oscars. They were like, something crazy is going to happen. Yeah. Ironically, nothing crazy happens.
Absolutely. But Elephant Whisperers, that's a crazy movie that ended up winning the Oscars. We've got a reaction coming in from the directorial team. Let's quickly take a look at that as well.
I first want to say this is India's first ever film to win. And it's two women from a country of 1.4 billion. And this is India's first production to win. So very grateful for that. Thank you, Academy. Thank you, Netflix. And it means the world to us. And this is for Indian cinema. This is for my country.
Awesome statistics being laid down there. Two women, two Indian women out of a country of 1.4 billion.
One South Indian, one North Indian.
One South Indian, one North Indian. Yeah. Great amalgamation over there as well. Great words. Talk us through the women in Indian cinema, let alone the global stage.
And the fact that Gunit Monga is not doing it for the first time. Gunit Monga is an Indian woman who's already been at the Oscars. She's in a sense,
in 2019.
She's in the scheme of things, and except that, even now, she's got lots more to do. Let's wish her very well, Gunit Monga and Kartikeya Gonzalez. Let's wish them many more Oscars and many more awards. But it's, the statement it makes coming, at the time discussing Women's Day, how should Women's Day be celebrated? That's a fantastic way of celebrating Women's Day, right there, over there. That's one of the most proudest moments because it's meant for everybody, right? It's women making an entire country proud, a country of the most populous country in the world proud. And I like the point she made. It's the first Indian film, which means she's not counting Slumdog Millionaire. She's just counting the first Indian film to win an Oscar. The Indian film is nominated before, which is Lagan. The Indian film to win an Oscar is a short documentary film.
And
that's
Indian
also a film.
Production.
And an Indian production. Yeah. And produced by, taken up by an Indian producer. Taken up by Netflix India. I mean, the number of threads it unlocks are fantastic. But yes, it begins with the women, the two wonderful women who put this together. And all the women involved, as Kasturi was telling us, all the women involved in the making of the Elephant Whisperers. Yeah. Let's not forget those women in the Mudumalai forests of Tamil Nadu. Those women. All the women and girls and young and old, all of them, this is a story, this is for them, and this is to reiterate the point that, let's not go around beating around the bush. Documentaries are the way forward to tell stories.
And music in those documentaries as well. And to speak more on that, we've got music director Dina Garu joining us on the broadcast as well.
Famous Tamil composer Dina, who heads the association over there, who's the big man, who's the boss man of the Tamil music industry over there. Dina, thank you so much for joining us here. we in India, we compete with each other, Tamil against Telugu, against Hindi, you know, and we talk about insider, outsider, all these issues. Today, everything is over. Today, we're all insiders of Natu Natu because it's our song. Because that song has been sung by every Indian language, loved by every Indian, and then loved by everybody around the world, winning. At the same time, a documentary film shot in Tamil Nadu's Mudumalai, forest, winning an Oscar. I mean, how do you view this? Does this finally break all these barriers within us?
First, and thanks to our great India. What a treasure and what a folk music and what a traditional music was there in our India. Wow, great, great. More and more, I want to thanks to Keeravani Garu. He is our member, life member in our Cine Musicians Union. And he composed so many songs with Raj Mouli pair. In this song, particularly in this song, he was given a good beat about the traditional of Tamil Nadu and Telugu instrumentation. It sounds very, very nice. And these two heroes danced like anything.
Dina, if I can ask you, Mr. Keeravani said it's an 8-10 beat. This beat, which is such a fast beat for the song, it's an 8-10 beat if I remember reading it correctly. Can you explain to us, what is an 8-10 beat? How fast is it? How difficult it is to compose an entire song on 8-10 beat?
That beat is totally, it is ethnic, that means drum pattern, drum and timpani patterns, but it won't sound, if you are putting in a fast beat, it won't sound good. But in this song, particularly in this song, he made a wonder. How it is made, we don't know. That's all. That's a great thing. He done very great dance movement and rhythm movement on this Keeravani Garu. Keeravani Garu, very, very great Keeravani Garu. We appreciate as a president, as our members, 1,300 members in Cine Music Union. We appreciate you. You have gone to Oscar platform and you made it for India. Mostly in Oscar, the sound was turning to Indian language and Indian sounding. So we appreciate the Oscar team. They are turned to the Indian culture. We appreciate to Oscar team also.
Right, Dina, tell me this. You're making a very important point for all those watching this broadcast. Mr. Dina, he's just talking about how Mr. Keeravani, who just won the Oscar, is a member of the association, member of the union, the Music Directors Union, which is very important. He's an industry man. Talk to us about how is the industry receiving it? The music directors industry. We all know Keeravani Garu. He's a magician. He's called Maragadamani in Tamil. He's called Keeravani in Telugu. He's called Cream in Hindi. We should find a Hollywood name for him now. I think now that he's going to Hollywood, we should find a Hollywood name for him because he comes in different names. He's been making music for 4 decades, 3 decades. And finally, when he said he's given up, I'm done with music direction, he wins an Oscar.
See, Keeravani Garu is a very good, humble person. He's a classical singer. First of all, he sings, very good sings. And he created so many songs. Bahubali, he created a wonder on that. See, he used more than 200 musicians for a film. That's a great thing. He used live. He gave the work to our Cine Musicians Union. And he protect us. We are 1,300 members in Cine Music Union. We are having so many composers in our union, like Isenani, like A.R. Rahman, so many composers are there, so many singers are there, so many musicians are there. Among Keeravani made a great name to our musicians, our music union, like Ilayaraja was done, like A.R. Rahman was done. Again, one great man, Keeravani, came and done a very great job. See, basically, uh, who transfer our Indian culture to abroad. That means who going to, who will transfer the sense of the music to the foreigners. Like Keeravani is one of the best composer in this song. He has created how so many foreign peoples are wondered how this song made, how this dance was made, and how this music was made. He created like anything. So we appreciate Keeravani Garu, and he was long lived and he was done. And Rajmouli also is very close friend to me. And Rajmouli and Keeravani are all relations. And the Rajmouli sir is very, very very perfect man and very hard worker, and he will follow his team. He will never lose his team value. He knows who is the. He knows all the team members and what the main thing they are having.
Maybe now instead of a Hollywood name, we can name the Dolby Theatre after Garu.
Little too early for that, Kabir.
Yeah. But certainly, Dina Garu and Gautam Chintamani ji, many thanks for joining with us. It's certainly a big, big day for India. We've taken those major strides, those major leaps forward. Of course, before we wrap this up, people were talking about how should they be watching the latest episode of The Last of Us or be catching the live ceremony on their various mobile phones, their television screens as well. But it is a wrap on the award ceremony, the 95th Academy Awards. India making it big. I'm going to reiterate what Kasturi Shankar on our show said, that it's not 2 out of 3, it's actually a 3 out of 3 for India. Of course, with 2 of those Oscars, one for Elephant Whisperers, the short documentary category, and of course the original song, which goes to Natu Natu from RRR. Before we wrap this up, quick reactions coming in from Michelle Yeoh and Ke Huy Quan, the supporting cast and the protagonist from Everything Everywhere All at Once, the movie that also bagged the best film this year. Take a look at those visuals. We'll keep cycling some of those visuals of RRR getting those awards at the Hollywood's massive stage. But take a look at those reactions, and thanks for watching.
For all the little boys and girls who look like me watching tonight, this is a beacon of hope and possibilities. This is proof that dreams dream big and dreams do come true. And ladies, don't let anybody tell you you are ever past your prime. Never give up.
My mom is 84 years old, and she's at home watching. Mom, I just want an Oscar. My journey started on a boat. I spent a year in a refugee camp, and somehow I ended up here on Hollywood's biggest stage.
Ready? Ooh, RRR.
Chandra Bose originally earned a degree for electrical and electronics engineering before becoming...
Namaste.
95th Academy Awards, and it's a wrap on that. But the highlights: India has bagged the Best Original Song Award at the Oscars. 95th Academy Awards. RRR's Natu Natu. It's a historic day for India. The Oscars, we could probably spell Oscars a little different this time around with a triple R at the end, because it is RRR. From dance performances to Jimmy Kimmel making those jokes about RRR, the dance step has certainly made its way to the biggest stage on the planet when it comes to the film industry. Ram Charan, Junior NTR, MM Garu, SS Rajamouli, they've been winning pretty much everything they've put their hands on. And the Prime Minister taking to the microblogging website to congratulate the team. He says congratulations to Earth Spectrum, Guneet M and the entire team of the Elephant Whisperers for this honor. Their work wonderfully highlights the importance of sustainable development. And of course, for RRR, exceptional, says the Prime Minister. The popularity of Natu Natu is, like the Prime Minister puts it, global and nothing short of it.